I just found out that there are men who don't like to go downtown, and I want to know what men love to go downtown.
Where are the men in San Francisco? Where are they? Not for me.
Okay, guys, me and the ladies want to know, where are you? We're done with dating apps. We're trying to play golf. We're going to high-end bars. Are you at church, the gym? Like, I have my notes. We ladies want to know, where are the emotionally available, ready for commitment, have their shit together men that genuinely want a healthy partnership? Let us know.
Where are all the older men at, okay? I'm talking 40 plus, 50, 60. Like, y'all are my type, and I can never find you. I've asked this question a million times, and I only get a couple responses. So if you are a man 40 plus, please say hey, because I am looking for you.
Why do intelligent men stay single?
Because they overthink a lot. Instead of introducing themselves, they'll think about doing the approach, but they won't actually do it. And they're very logical and serious in their communication, very fun and lighthearted. They don't understand that fun is the currency. They're not good at storytelling. They have certain competencies in their business or in their career that becomes a problem in their dating and their relationship life. But if they learn to get good at storytelling, they become a little bit more fun and lighthearted, they learn to build attraction, and they take more action instead of just thinking, they'll get the result.
So you guys just want to stay single, right? Because why else would you stop approaching women in public entirely?
The guys just want to stay out of jail. And if that means that they can't approach women anymore and that they're more likely to be single unless they're online and trying to go through that mess, then yeah, they're going to just be single.
Okay, story time. So, good friend of mine and I went on a girls' trip over the weekend. We drove 3 hours south, went to Charleston for the weekend. We're like, okay, let's just get away, just have some fun, meet up with a friend of ours, and maybe find some attractive men. No. No. None. I'm starting to wonder where they are. Like, where? I went to Vegas back in July. I saw maybe one attractive man, and he was mediocre attractive. It wasn't even like, wow, he's really hot. Even I was there with like family, and even the male members of my family were like, there's really no attractive men. No. So anyway, back to Charleston. We go to Charleston. Nothing. None. Just puny little children that I swear they're doing the least. Like, these guys, they're doing the least. They dress like crap. Their hair looks like shit. And they all think they need to have a mustache. No.
So what about you thinking that you need makeup? What about y'all thinking y'all need lip filler and Botox? What about that? Let's continue.
No. It's not cute and it's not a thing. So on Saturday night, my friend and I, we get all dressed up. We're looking super cute. And we're going to a nice dinner at Hall's. But before that, we had time to stop at Republic for a drink. So we walk in. It's packed. It's Halloween weekend. Most people are dressed up. We were not dressed up in Halloween costumes, obviously. But everyone else is dressed up. And it was a little bit of a younger crowd, I will say. However, we're standing there minding our own business, talking, and some guy approaches my friend. She starts talking to him casually. And as she's casually talking to him, another kid walks up. And I only caught the end of it. I'm glad I didn't see all of it because I wouldn't have handled it as well as she did. This kid walks up with his cell phone and sticks his fingers in her drink and has his cell phone with the light on, filming it, and then puts the phone in her face to like see what her reaction was going to be. I only saw the phone part and him like kind of stick it in her face, and she was just like staring at him like, what the fuck? And so she proceeds to put her drink on the ground, like next to her, because she's like, I don't want it. Well, I didn't see the fingers go in the drink. I would not have just let that happen. I probably either would have made him buy me another drink, or quite frankly, the drink would have went on him. Again, ladies, if you know of where all the attractive men are, can you please let me know? Because we're doomed over here. We're doomed over here on the East Coast because we got nothing. So maybe I need to go over there by like Wyoming and get a cowboy or something. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. You're messing with kids. You went to a bar where kids were, and kids play these types of games. Thinking of my niece. My niece does exactly this. She does exactly this. You be telling her, stop being weird. Stop doing that. Should he have done that? No. Is that weird? Absolutely. But what does that have to do with men? Like, where are the men? Like, you that's what I'm saying. Modern women, they go into spaces and areas admitting like there's kids there. Like, you're in there with a kid. Like, young, they're probably not kids, but young men who are doing stupid stuff for views. And then you say, where are the men at? Well, not there. I mean, that's not your crowd. And you admitted that. Get a drink and leave.
Okay, this video is for my single men. Kids, no kids, I don't care. I'm pushing 40 at this point. Where do y'all hang out? Do you guys approach anyone that's not like in a bar or club setting? Like, I would love to know. I have not been on a dating app in almost a year, and that may or may not be my last date. Because my last date was somebody I met on a dating app, and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't have it in me. I'm not doing it. Like, I know there's men out there, or good ones, I know, but I have yet to find them. Okay? And a lot of them are not on dating apps. So that's why I cut them off. I've been getting more into my faith. I'm just being to like God, sending me someone in front of my face because I'm in my feminine energy and I'm not pursuing. It's masculine. That's a whole nother video. But anyways, this question is for you guys. Like, we're women want you, okay? But we don't have time for the BS. Like, we just don't. So, you're a single man or single. Why am I even? No baby mom, no wife that you're like kind of broken up with, like completely single. Where do you guys hang out? Because I spend time like during the day, out and about by myself, and I have yet to really like meet anyone. Every time I see a decent looking guy, there's his woman trailing behind him. Cause I sure don't see y'all at parks. Do you guys just hibernate during the day at home and then you go out at night? Do you guys like go out with your kids or something, or just alone? Or do you like order stuff because you don't want to be out and about by yourself? I don't know. Let me know.
Okay, so I said every time I get on here, I'm going to have to post something, but so this is where I'm at because I was scrolling a little bit too long. There's so many fine men on here. Where do y'all live? Where do y'all live? Are y'all single? Because in New York, I don't be seeing y'all. I used to see fine men on the subway in like very beautiful suits. I don't ride the subway no more, so that's a wrap. But In Atlanta too. Where y'all at? Because I don't see you. And I need to have y'all come to the front of the congregation. And Michigan, I haven't been there in a minute, but maybe I'll be seeing y'all soon. But fine men, DMs are open.
With all of this, and you saying something to the effect of, every time I see a halfway decent looking man, he's always got his wife behind him. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe a lot of modern women, which is what men say, they've waited so long that once they start trying to get a man, the man's already married. Y'all wait for so long. Oh, I want to freeze my eggs and I'll do this. Oh, I want to go over here and I'll do this. You waited too long and your opportunity has passed you by. So maybe you can still find a guy out there, but the chances of you doing that, it gets harder because everybody's doing their own thing. When, like men told you, you should have been keeping your eyes peeled for opportunities way back when, 5-10 years ago.
Where do you find men? That is the number one question I receive on a daily basis by single women ever since I started sharing my single life or my dating life or etc. So where? My response is going to sound really trivial, but it's the truth. I don't find them. They find me. So what do I mean by this? Story time. When I first became single after separating from my ex-husband, I was ready, bitch. I was ready to meet somebody. You could call it on the motherfucking prowl. Every time I was out, I was like binoculars on ho, like looking. And guess what that got me? Nowhere. Literally, I found nothing. That it almost became discouraging to go outside. You guys, nobody was more ready than me to meet new men, to have the opportunity to be outside, be single, and just date. I was so unhappy in my marriage for such a long time, especially post-betrayal, that I was like ready to start over and just meet new people. And when I was going out, I wasn't enjoying myself. I was like on the prowl. And not in the sense that I was like approaching men, but like waiting to be approached. Like I was not even having fun. I was just sitting and like looking everywhere at every inch and every corner of wherever I was at. And after about 2 months of doing that with no luck, no avail, not being approached, I was like, man, fuck this. I'm done going outside, like trying to find something or trying to meet new people. Like I'm just gonna fucking have fun without that like intention in the back of my mind. You guys, game fucking changer. The second that I started to go outside, that following weekend that I started to go outside, and I had just decided to have the time of my fucking life and not pay attention to my surroundings, just literally enjoy the company that I was in and have a good time, left and fucking right. I just started to attract left and right simply by going outside and doing me, by enjoying my life. And the number one compliment that I receive when meeting men is they spotted me and they were attracted to my energy, to my aura, to me just being me. So you literally have to do nothing. You don't have to hunt. You don't have to look. You literally just have to go outside. You have to put yourself in places where you have the opportunity to meet people. But you don't have to look. You just go and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your family. Be present and you will attract people. You do not have to look. And yes, girl, you have to go outside. Anywhere is an opportunity to meet somebody or attract somebody. You know where they're not going to find you? At your fucking house, bitch. Church, the park, the mall, the gym, a festival, a club, golf.
I wonder, as she's sitting here talking about being on the prowl, I wonder why they're okay with women coming out of a relationship, having divorce parties and being on the prowl. But then when a man goes out and he does the same thing, then it's a problem. Like, well, you need to go heal. You need to be emotionally grounded. Does she not? Well, she was in a relationship and so she probably checked out before that and she's a woman anyway. So women mature faster than men. Oh, okay. I got it.
No, males are not choosing, but
oh, yes, they are.
But I do find it hilarious how they are all like, yeah, we're done with women. That's why we're all single, because we chose to be done with women.
If someone tells you something often enough, maybe you should start believing them because, yeah, a lot of men are just completely done with dating.
You guys didn't choose that. You know you didn't choose that.
Oh, but they did. What exactly is so hard to believe about that?
You know that right now women are becoming really picky and not choosing men that all they do is bring a paycheck.
Like I said before, there's a lot of women that are very upset that a lot of guys are actually choosing to be single because they want all of the power for themselves and to be able to dictate who they date. It is incomprehensible to some that guys actually can choose who to date.
Although there are still women out there who will accept that. And I suggest you go find them and leave us alone.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem at all. Because it's almost like personality types similar to...
This is a question for the men. If you're not a man, keep scrolling. Okay, so men. Why are we hating women? Why are we hating women? I feel like women are hating men and men are now hating women. They don't want to get married. They don't want to live with them. They, they just want to be single forever. Like, what's going on here? Are all you men into men now? Like, what's going on? I'm so confused. I feel like we're creating a divide here, folks. Can we come back together? I love men. And I want men to start loving women again. Like, I don't know. What do we need to do? Let me know and I can try to get the congregation together and we could try to move forward so we can all start loving each other again. I don't know. What am I missing? Can you please fill me in? I'm very, 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 very confused. Okay, thanks.
Y'all keep on thinking that men hate women, and it's just that men hate foolishness. It really is that simple. Nobody hates anybody.
Hey, ladies, what's up? Louis V here. So listen, after my post yesterday regarding divorce, I got invited to a Zoom call with about 5 guys. These guys are all divorced from years to just recently divorced. And it was interesting to hear their insight on why they never get married again. And ladies, I want to give you some insight onto what I heard. So that way, if you're dating somebody that maybe got out of divorce and they hemming and hawing, here's why. So again, these guys were a bunch of professionals. They're all doing well financially. All of them been married. All have no desire to do it again.
But wait, before we continue, somebody told me that these men, they're broke. They don't have any gold. That's what they told me. Continue.
So I made sure I asked some great questions. Let me share this insight. So let's talk about why we have a growing number of men that are choosing not to get married anymore. It's not just fear of commitment or even avoiding responsibility. It's actually deeper than that. It's what marriage has become in today's culture in the eyes of men. Many men feel like marriage is no longer a partnership. It's simply a contract, and it's way too much risk with too little reward, especially when the traditional values that we've grown up with and once held it together are actually now being called outdated. So for those of us that are old school, we can understand exactly what they're saying. See, men grew up dreaming of a woman who was actually nurturing, soft, and supportive, a feminine balance to his masculine frame, not necessarily a rival, not a critic, not someone who sees vulnerability as weakness and femininity as oppression. See, it's not that men actually hate strong women. I actually asked that question. It's that they're tired of feeling like masculinity itself is under attack, while being told at the same time to damn it, man up, and have no emotional safety in return. See, most of these guys, marriage used to mean that, hey, I've got your back and you've got mine through the good and through the bad. Now, many men feel like it's signing up just to prove your worth every day to somebody who's been taught, in essence, not to actually need you. Masculinity needs femininity, you all, like fire needs oxygen. Not submission, not softness, not silence, but understanding. And until that energy returns to the relationship table, many men are just simply not choosing to get married. They're just choosing to stay alone. And in all honesty, it's not hate. As far as they were concerned, it's actually self-preservation. grown folks conversation. Y'all know this is what I'm always going to continue to do. Listen, keep reaching out, keep commenting. I love your input. Let's keep forcing people to talk about it and think about it at the exact same time. Don't forget, I got books out there. I got Learn That Man and Divorcing Out Loud, all on Amazon, still available for you. And they're definitely out there to help somebody. You all take care. God bless.
Well, once again, you're destroying the narrative that men actually hate women and they hate responsibility. So the woman's got to get up out of there, or they got to get up out of there. It's actually, I don't feel safe. That's what I keep on telling y'all. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I can, say how I really feel. I have to walk on eggshells around you. Can I be on? Well, you can't say it. It don't matter what way I say it. You don't want to hear it. You're emotionally immature. Your growth is stunted. And as a modern woman, you don't take accountability for that. And that's not my problem.
Why do you think so many men feel like the dating game is stacked against them right now?
God, men are continued to be persuaded into selecting women who are signaling for short-term dating. And the reason that I say that is men, and this is proven across time, across cultures, they have discernment around short-term dating and mating versus long-term dating and mating. And the reason that that's important is women now, with the cultural changes, with feminism, with the influence of empowerment via promiscuity, they're all signaling for short-term mating strategies. And so men are attracted to these women. They'll sleep with these women. They certainly will come, but they don't stay. And so women say that they want long-term partners, and the expectation of men is to be everything that a long-term mate would be, but they're not signaling the right things for men to commit to, nor would they want to. And so now it's making men the enemy for not wanting to commit to women who are not up to the standards that men have when it comes to choosing a woman to commit to long term. And so the confusion and the frustration for men is that there are no viable, not many viable mates as far as options when it comes to somebody that they could actually settle down with, commit to, and build a family with. And so the frustration for men is valid. They're not confused, they're wise. And women can either continue to attack men and say that they shouldn't have standards, or they're insecure, or they're controlling, or they're whatever they want to label them, to deflect any level of accountability or awareness around maybe their behavior or the way that they present themselves or how they carry themselves or their history with access and sexuality is not at all what men actually want nor look for when it comes to a woman to settle down with.
Men need to stay single because majority of these women are not worth your time. These women be having all these standards telling you, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta jump through all these hoops and hurdles to get them. Knowing dang on well these are unrealistic expectations. And you know what? You could thank social media for that, because all these women have all these thirsty dudes in their DMs, all these simps that's all on these dating apps, telling them what they want to hear, telling them all these things, and they get the big head thinking that, you know what? Well, all these dudes want me, so you know what? I am gonna raise my standards. Don't be focused on them. Just stay single, focus on yourself, build yourself up, because I'm telling you right now, if you go out here and try to live up to these women's standards, you will lose.
I went to Singles Mixer yesterday and I left feeling more defeated than hopeful. There was a room full of beautiful, accomplished women, a lot of nice men, but only a few of them that everyone wanted. And the very few acted like they were the prize.
So I'm a married man, and me and my wife been together, it'll be 13 years now, and I see a lot of single people out here, men and women, asking pretty much how not to be single. Now, I never had problems dating, but there is some few tips for me that helped me find my forever person, right? For one, don't turn your nose up. If you are in the place of dating, the space of dating, it's like people who are on the Pop the Balloon show and turning their nose up at other people on the Pop the Balloon show as if they're not on a Pop the Balloon show. You get it? Even if the person looks like roadkill, it doesn't matter because you guys are in the same space. For two, accountability. Stop blaming people for your faults. And this is not specifically for this woman. This is just general advice. Stop blaming people for your faults or why you're fucked up in the situation, or kicking people like as if you're not in the situation. And for three, change. The biggest one of all. Be open to change. A lot of single people are like, I ain't never gonna change. I ain't gonna change. I ain't gonna change. You're gonna stay single. And that's okay. But what sense does it make that you're going to build a life with a whole new person and be exactly the same? And change doesn't have to be you out here doing coke in the streets or no craziness, but yeah, changing the wardrobe, picking up an activity, engaging in new activities, engaging with new people. This is the point of dating. Change. Because even me, I'm in my mid-30s and I'm just now starting to do skincare, and I'm just now starting to change up my wardrobe more, and I'm married just so my wife can see and feel that change. And she does the same.
I am convinced that these men just don't like women. They just don't like us. Not saying that they like men, but they just don't like us. Every time we point out like where a man is lacking, right? So it's like, oh, we want men to be more romantic and give us flowers. Their comeback will be like, why am I getting a girl flowers? They're gonna die anyway. Okay, you don't like us. I saw a meme yesterday and it was a man like, when you're having a bad day and she sends you a selfie and your day gets worse. Huh? Y'all really hate us. We say like, oh, I love a man that opens the door for me. Why would I open a woman's door? She got 2 hands. She could open her own door. You hate us. Oh, we love like the girlfriend proposals and we love the decorated hotel room. Why would I be decorating? Yo, just say you don't like us. Just say you don't like us. That's it. And we'll just move on. We'll just move on. Y'all can stop pretending that y'all actually like us. We get it. Y'all don't like us. It's cool. We're gonna find somebody that does like us, and then we find the people that like us. Y'all be mad. It's no winning. It's no winning.
We don't like the lack of reciprocation. Women demand a lot and offer little.
I don't think men like women anymore. I don't think that men desire us women anymore. Us real women. I don't think that they value us like they used to. Men aren't really putting out effort. They're not putting out any type of effort like they used to. Taking a girl on a date becomes an issue. You know, spending money on a woman is an issue. You should have your own money as a woman. Going out to do something fun is an issue. Why don't you just come over to the house and we could do something in the house? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, but I see women all over the globe complain about what's happening with men nowadays. Is it women that's not making themselves desirable anymore? Because
And once again, it's the default. It's a go-to that, you know, for some of these ladies, beautiful women, they act like they can't understand anything other than, well, I guess he just don't like me. That's immaturity. That's lazy thinking. What did I do? What could I have done better? Oh, well, I did pretty good in this. You talk to somebody, not just people trying to hype you up and they say, I mean, well, you were kind of rude. Well, I can fix that next time. And you show up better. I know you like to talk to your therapist, but sometimes your therapist may be not trying to be blowing smoke up your behind. Sometimes these therapists be straight up lying or not, just omitting stuff. And you go out there thinking that you're okay and you feel good because you got a piece of paper and you done the inner work, quote unquote. And you find that you're not with nobody. And then we go back to the therapist for more coping mechanisms. And you still don't find nobody. You don't need a coping mechanism at that point. You need a man. Can't find a man because you still think that you're better than everybody. And that men hate you.
Where are all the good men that don't cheat? Where are all the good men that still respect women to understand that they don't deserve to be played with, lied to, and manipulated? Where are all the good men that want to prioritize their family, their girlfriends, and the people around them that matter? Where are all the good men that know the sacrifice of a woman when she's at home with the kids or she's making a house a home and they appreciate it? Where are all the men that are happy to go to work every single day knowing that the home and the house that they built is because they sacrificed time away from their children? Where are all the good men that are trying to balance work, a romantic relationship, their kids, trying to do all the right things and still feel like they're falling short? Where are all the good men that understand that women can be crazy, but you love them anyway? Where are all the good men that understand that things are not always going to be easy, but they're not going to go out and cheat or be out in the club to fill their ego instead of making it work within their relationship? Where are all the good men that still have integrity? They do exactly what they say they're going to do and they never fall short. Where are these men? Because according to women, there are no good ones left. Okay, bye.
A lot of good men are single because you black women are programmed. Yeah. You know, and I see the program with the program. You know, I see the NPCs with the NPCs. But if you was a good black man, you should not be seeking no systematic ass bitch. You get what I'm saying? As a good black man, you need to find you a nice little organic woman that's in tune with herself, that love herself, and she love you. You know, once a in tune black woman love herself, she will love you. That's the power that's in us. That's the divinity that's in us. When we love ourselves, the way that we love ourselves, we want to love you. But I get why a lot of y'all good black men are single, because a lot of women out here pimping, selling pussy, pump faking. Y'all, the new niggas. And the niggas is doing nigga shit. Program like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You gotta read the frequencies, know what you're dealing with, you know. I get it, sometimes that bad shit look good. But is you gonna be happy though? I would say you know, fuck with the bad shit for a good time. Protect your energy if you gonna fall short, but if you want some genuine divine shit, you get you a nice, good old woman that loves you.
It was kind of funny, but not really funny. Bro, the most evilest men are never single. Like the men that be abusive, men that be cheating, they never, it's like they have an abundance of women that want them.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how toxic, traumatic relationships are created. Because you have individuals like this that have their eyes focused on the unrighteous and what they're doing, instead of paying attention to their own inner dealings and making sure that they're in right standing with God. You have men out here that's more concerned about unrighteous and evil men who keeps a plethora of women, you know, a buffet of women. Their well seems to never go dry, if you will.
Are you ready? You ready? I'm ready. Oh my goodness. This place is off the hook.
See, my Bible tells me in Proverbs, I believe 23, that we are not to envy sinners, evildoers, but we are to be zealous for the fear of the Lord. See, that the lamp of the wicked will eventually go out. Amen. So here's my thing. Just because McDonald's always keep a line wrapped around the building, does that mean it's good for you? You know, fast food restaurants are always going to be in business. They always keep a line. People are always coming and going. They never seem to be without customers.
That's what he's saying, though. Even though the food is bad, they always have customers there. Even though these men are bad, they always have customers. That's just a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, people literally won't eat a piece of broccoli, but Coke, Pepsi, soda, sweets, Oreos, be selling out. So yes, they do have customers.
Yet the ER and the cancer center, the cancer centers are always filled up with people with cancer and diabetes. You know, the thing that these fast food restaurant causes, you know. So you really gotta pay attention. Just because it keeps a crowd doesn't mean it's good for you. Doesn't mean that it's a good thing. You know, because buffets keep a crowd as well. If you like that kind of food and you like that kind of traffic, where you eat at, that's fine. Everyone has a preference. I'm not a buffet kind of a girl. I prefer a 5-star restaurant where I can make my reservations and I can sit down and enjoy my meal without interruption, right? Without high traffic, without worrying about hygienic practices, Now, of course, it costs a little bit more for that kind of access and treatment and atmosphere, but you do get what you pay for.
Well, see, I see it sounds like you're making an argument, and I hope that you're not. You're making an argument to say, well, it's going to cost you a little bit more to access a woman like me. No. Here you are trying to say, well, if you get organic, then you run into this, and this. You are not organic. There's things that modern women are out here doing. They try to sell themselves as premium. You are not premium. You are not that. You are not, just because you say you are organic. Men, what's happening, men have started reading the box. They have started reading the back of the box. Yeah, it says organic, it says premium. Same ingredients as they would. Actually, worse ingredients. Actually, this is worse for you. They lied. Pure marketing. Put this down.
So if it's abundance in women that you want, well, that's not so hard to get, if that's what you really want. But be careful what you ask for. Because once you get an abundance of this very thing that you are being so envious of, I need you to have that same energy when you get what comes with that territory, those consequences, whether it's STDs, whether it's unwanted pregnancies, whether it's depression, whether it's, trauma, violence, domestic violence, it comes with the territory. See, because that's why the Bible says, who can find a woman of noble character? Things that are good, rare, they're not going to be easy to come by. That would make them common. Most people want something of value. But it sounds like you're not the kind of man that like to value anything. You like buffets and you like things that come a dime a dozen. And to each their own, everyone has their preference, but I just found that to be very interesting. And there's so many men that share your same sentiments, that they also share in communism. They want their buffet of women. Well, like I said, be careful what you ask for. Have that same energy when those consequences begin to hit. Amen.
He just said, and this is once again what happens when you get too deep. He just said, it seems like these bad men never stay single. They have an abundance of women. Well, you seem like you like that. No, I'm just saying, I like women, and they have how come women don't go for the good guys, the nice guys, the guys that are doing right? The Bible talks about David looking at the prosperity of the wicked and saying, dang, I felt I felt some way about it. I felt like, how am I doing the right thing? And these guys, they're cheating, scamming, not doing what they're supposed to, and they're still successful. How are you letting this happen? That's what he said. One of the best kings in the Bible said that. A man after God's own heart said that. Man, this is easy work. Sometimes we gotta be quiet.
Ladies, we gotta start asking the right questions. If you ask a man, is he in a relationship, and he say no, then you need to follow that question up with, is somebody obsessed with you? Are you obsessed with somebody? Do somebody think y'all go together? Is it somebody out there that can't leave you alone? Is it somebody that you can't leave alone? Do you have a person that you've been talking to for over 3 to 5 years that you know that right now y'all just going through a little bumpy, shaky shake in y'all relationship, and y'all probably gonna get back together? Do you have a baby mama? Is the baby mama alive? How old is this baby? Like, we have to really ask in-depth questions, because the thing is, a lot of these men be single, but they very well be in a relationship. The singlest men are the married men and the men in the relationship. So we really have to dissect and really find out who is really single, because these niggas do not.
Well, we know that most men aren't with anybody. They're not dating. So really, you mean to ask this question to Chad and Tyrone, who have been out there. And once again, you don't have to date Chad and Tyrone if you don't want to. You can just leave them alone and find an average man who ain't got really anything going on with these women. He not trying to have nothing going on. He trying to go to work, get something to eat, go to the gym, maybe run a couple games and go home. That's it. But you don't want that.
I'm just going to talk about this comment that was left on one of my videos, and there's quite a few men that leave similar comments to this, and this proclamation that, you know, this is why men are staying single. And this is obviously not all men, but there is a reason why men do this. And the reason that men say I'm staying single, which in other terms basically means I'm also willing to have a string of hookups that mean nothing to get my own needs satisfied, is that the reason that they do this is because they are not willing to face themselves. Any man that says, you know, I'm staying single, is because they do not want to be in a situation that is causing them to face parts of themselves that have been denied, that have been repressed, where they are not taking accountability for the way that they show up in relationships. And obviously, if they're not in relationship or opening themselves up to the right person, they're not going to have this mirroring. And so by isolating and saying, you know, this is why men are staying single, it's just basically another way of saying, I don't want to face myself.
No, it just means if you say something or you're acting crazy or talking stupid, which modern women don't seem to understand that they're doing, then I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to stay away from the drama. That's what that means.
Because unfortunately, in Western society and sort of in the modern world, men are becoming apathetic. They're becoming more feminized. And when wounded feminine energy shows up in men, it causes them to lack accountability, to not want to take responsibility, to be flighty, to not commit to things, which is automatically a massive turnoff to women that are in a healed feminine energy. And so the sorts of women that they would actually, you know, thrive in relationship with, they're not attracting anyway, because they're not opening themselves up to the possibility that actually they're the ones that are responsible for the type of women that they're actually pulling in the first place. And so it becomes this vicious cycle. But when men say, you know, that they're staying single as an act of, you know, trying to control their circumstances, the reality is underneath that, they're feeling very much out of control. And because they don't have a language for communicating, you know, what's going on underneath, because no man that is in a healed masculine energy is going to make this proclamation and decide that he's going to be single for the rest of his life. Because when you look at the way that obviously masculine energy thrives in life, it is to build, it's to continuously have something to move towards, to build some sort of legacy for self, and to feel as if they're creating a foundation, you know, and building something. And so when you're saying, you know, I'm cutting off my own growth, which is obviously what comes from being in a relationship anyway, they're automatically showcasing they're not actually in their masculine. Because to get to the end of your life and basically look back and say, you know, I worked a job that was okay, that paid the bills, sat on my own money so I didn't have to pay anything, you know, for women, and, you know, got to the end of my life with a string of hookups. You look back at that as a legacy for a male, and the level of regret that would come with that is not going to feel good.
Well, I know you don't think you did, but you just answered your own question. Why would a man, if you're saying, you know, a lot of men are feminized, they're in their feminine, and so they're not taking accountability. Well, if a masculine person builds, if a masculine man builds, go with me here. If he builds And then all the stuff that he has built, he has to share with somebody who never takes accountability, who's undisciplined, who isn't in control of their emotions. Tell me why now he would want to be in a relationship with that person.
So if a man makes this proclamation, then this is what he really means. And emotional fulfillment in life comes from the depth of intimacy we have with our partners, with the people that are closest to us. And when we cut ourselves off from that and the possibility of exploring that, we don't live an emotionally fulfilling life. We live a life that's filled with surface level distractions, surface level projections that don't actually lean into anything of depth. And so when a man says this, he's likely very much in his feminine, in an apathetic energy where he doesn't want to commit to things. And so within a relationship, he's not going to take accountability. This is obviously very different for a man that chooses to stay single until the right person comes along and works on himself in the meantime. This is an attribute of a healthy masculine male and a man that's able to concentrate and focus his energy in such a way that's actually going to be really supportive and conducive once the right partner shows up or once he's ready to take that step with the right partner. And this is the sort of dynamic and mentality that actually breeds and calls in soul connection as well, because the man is anchored into his masculine energy as opposed to dismissing the concept of relationship altogether, which is naturally a byproduct of being very wounded. And soul connection in and of itself can only come in when you are truly connected to yourself, whether you're male or female. So if you don't have a deep understanding of, your own psyche, the way that you operate, of your own triggers, where you're not taking accountability and reconciling that internally, you're not actually in a position to attract in what would be like a deep soul connection anyway. So all of these things are interconnected. They all play into one another. But the difference is that when you are connected to self, you see the mirroring and the divinity in others. When you are not connected to yourself, you see through the eyes of separation, of somebody else wanting to take from you, as opposed to being with an open and generous heart that actually allows you to feel the fullness of what a relationship can actually bring for you.
With all of these boss babes, they say that men aren't lonely enough. Modern women aren't tired enough. They're not tired enough. It used to be, if you played basketball or football, or if you went through practice, you didn't have the energy to do a whole lot of talking. I just came from the weight room. I'm going home. Give me something to eat on the way, and I'm not really doing too much talking. I have to recover. I'm tired. I'm worn out. Coaches are telling me, if you're still talking, you need to work out a little bit harder. You need to do some more push-ups. That's the way it is with these modern women. You have too much time on your hands. You need to go do some more work. You need to take a baking class, a dance class, a biking class, get involved in a run club, a book club. You need to spend majority of your time doing that versus being online talking silly like this. If you're not tired of stupid ideas, if you're not tired of saying this dumb stuff online, you need to get involved in other things that can shape and mold your mind, so you can come back on here and say, you know what, after a few months of intensive stupidity training, I have shed that. I should say anti-stupidity. I have shed the stupidity, and now I understand it from somebody else's perspective.